Court says Pollsmoor Prisoner who contracted TB's rights had been infringed on, and Davies says communities play an important role in creating jobs for themselves. I'm Lebo Changela with this news update. The Constitutional Court has heard that the rights of a man who contracted TB while serving time at a Pollsmoor prison between 1999 and 2003 had been infringed on. Dudley Lee is suing the Correctional Services Minister for damages on the basis of poor prison management resulting in him contracting a TB. The Western Cape High Court upheld the claim, but the Supreme Court of Appeals found that while prison authorities were negligent in managing the disease, the minister was not liable. Lee's legal representative, Michael Dolan, says the minister knew about the risk of TB in prison.
The applicant pleaded that he was in conditions where there was serious risk. They were known to the authorities, and they, with volition, brought that consequence about. He pleaded it, he proved it, and the result is that the question that was raised, the causation question, based on the general principles, does not apply. The outcome was produced by volition, by intention.
Trade and Industry Minister Rob Davies says communities play an important role in creating jobs for themselves, and this could lead to more formal employment for them in the future. Davies has visited Umpumbulu near Durban. The outreach campaign is part of government's efforts to empower rural and peri-urban communities. Davies says government is trying to ensure that economic policies are better implemented so that people on the ground benefit.
They are interested in cooperative development. They have identified a number of projects in agriculture, production of fresh crops in particular, and supplying those. And we said to them, well, we accept that if they come up with some kind of a proposal, we are prepared to work with them on a pilot project. We have identified a number of opportunities. We've been working with supermarkets who have accepted contracts from cooperatives in fresh fruit and vegetables.
Gates of schools in Olifantshoek remain locked, and children continue to roam around the streets as there is still no teaching or learning taking place despite the Northern Cape Provincial Executive Committees of the ANC's intervention. The PEC met with community members last week, urging the parents to allow the children to return to school on Monday. There has been no schooling in Olifantshoek, including 5 villages near Kurumana, such as Castle, Butitong, and Ditako, due to protests in which residents are demanding the removal of the mayor and a construction of a tarred road linking the villages. A ministerial task team is expected to visit the troubled areas today, even though the residents seem to have no knowledge about it. And the South African Institute of Race Relations says the government needs to strengthen social services if it wants to effectively deal with the breakdown of families. Government has released a green paper pointing out that families are unable to play critical roles of socialization, nurturing, care and protection effectively. By last year, a third of all children were not living with either of their biological parents, and 9 million children had absent fathers. The Institute's research manager, Lucy Holborn.
We have to be quite careful that we don't expect government to solve all of these problems. But there are certainly steps that will sort of improve the situation for social services, and there are a number of challenges there with shortages of social workers, quite a lot of administration on the government side of things, I think hampering work on the ground, working with vulnerable families. But there are also issues at a sort of broader level. Unemployment and poverty are undoubtedly putting pressure on families, splitting up families as people go to look for work, or as men don't take responsibility for children because they can't afford to.